Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows from around world football this weekend. Patrick Van Straten is in the hot seat today because Chris Hamill is off filming a secret project coming to you very soon. Pato, what is our talking point? I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think it is? It's from @Bainesy4 and it's Manchester United, who obviously suffered a 3-1 defeat at the hands of Liverpool. Now, while it was only a 2-goal margin, it felt further apart, you know, the two teams.
It's poles apart.
The win now means that Jurgen Klopp has beaten every opponent he's faced in the Premier League, and Liverpool are now 19 points ahead of United, their biggest lead over them after 17 games ever. Now, yesterday, on the live stream, I said, that means that Liverpool could just not turn up for their next 6 games and still be a point ahead of United. And Dorman said, well, that's only if United win those next 6. And I thought, yeah, that's actually a good point, because now I don't trust them after 26 points in 17 games, their worst tally since 1990-91. Jesus. They did 29 goals. That's one more than they did in the whole of 2017-18. One more than they did in the whole of last season.
Don't get me started, Pato, because I'm on the verge of explosion.
The whole of last season. And guess what? Jose Mourinho was not a happy bunny. Didn't blame himself, though, did he, post-match?
Do you think this squad are with you? Have you got the backing of the whole dressing room? Are they playing for you?
What is that? Play for me.
That the players give 100% effort?
Are you calling the players dishonest?
No, I'm asking you...
No, you are asking me if they are dishonest.
No, I'm asking you an honest question. Do you believe that these Manchester United players are giving you 100% because they believe in you?
I believe they are honest, and you believe they are dishonest.
No, there's a clear distinction.
Yes, I answered. There is no clear distinction. A football player has to give all, every day, maximum, every day, every match, every minute.
Where can I start on Manchester United yesterday and over the course of this season? I think everybody knows my feelings. It's disgusting, it's disgraceful, it's an absolute embarrassment to the club that we are currently in this situation. It's disgraceful. There is no longer a top 6, it's a top 5 and Manchester United. We are that far behind the rest of the top 4 and 5. For Jose Mourinho to come out and say after the game, we are going to finish top 6, that is the biggest David Moyesism I've seen. Well, how about coaching your players to be better at the jobs they're doing? How about using Paul Pogba effectively and playing him instead of a midfield that, quite frankly, can't pass the ball? We didn't create anything yesterday. There was not one coherent attack. Our goal was a lucky shambles. We were a joke yesterday and have been throughout the course of this season. If we give Jose another 6 months, it's farcical. How can we give him another transfer window? There is actually nothing worse that can happen. We may as well get rid of Jose Mourinho now because we can't go any further backwards. Even if we finish 10th, who cares? We're 7th at the moment. Oh no, we're going to miss out on the Europa League. Who gives a f***? He's got to go. We've got to put a new manager in place because you cannot sit there and tell me at home, United's attack and first 11 can't produce better than this. Absolutely they can. Martial, Pogba, Lukaku, Rashford, Sanchez, Mata. You are telling me those 6 players cannot produce better than that yesterday? Because all we do is lump it towards Lukaku, who's isolated, who loses the ball and then gets blamed.
Yeah.
You're really telling me Matic, we don't have an upgrade on Matic? How do we not have an upgrade on Matic? At one stage, Wijnaldum nicked the ball past Matic and he fell over and it was like, watching a turtle on his back. He couldn't get up. Seriously. I know that our defence isn't great. Our centre-backs might not be elite and our full-backs at times are poor. But if there's one thing you can do is create a good attack out of that personnel. And we can't create a chance. What's happening? The club's an absolute mess. The boardroom are a naive joke. The dressing room's out the window, gone.
Is he gone? Is he gone?
Jose, I would be surprised if Jose lasts the week.
Ooh.
Because you know what? I tweeted it yesterday. As soon as Shaqiri came on the pitch, I thought, goal. He will score the winner. I tweeted, said 100% Shaqiri winner incoming. 2 minutes later, bang, top corner. It's an embarrassment. I could see it from a mile away. As soon as they brought on the extra striker or the extra forward, our defence fell even deeper. The deeper we got, the worse we got. Matic could not pass the ball effectively from the back line. Fellaini was a useless mess. We had no coherent game plan going forward. The fullbacks struggled all game. As soon as we took Dalot off, they had the free rein of the left flank. Mourinho comes out after and goes, "Oh, I'm tired just from watching Robertson." Well, how about coaching your defence and your midfield structure to not allow him to get up and down the flank? He has somehow got and fiddled with United fans' brains to think that this team cannot be better than what's currently being produced.
Yeah.
What a load of horse.
Is this squad notably worse than Arsenal's?
No.
And you're 8 points behind us, and you've got a goal difference of 0.
Zero. We've
goal
got
difference
a goal
of
difference
0.
of 0 in Man United and
I
we're
think it's the same as
17
West
games
Ham.
in. We're 17 games in.
Cool.
I mean, should we move on?
I mean-
Because I'm literally about to blow a blood vessel.
I mean, we
and-
can go through all the stats and stuff, but there's no real point to it. Like, I agree with you. I think it's a disaster. And will Mourinho go this week? Let us know in the poll just above Joe's raging pink head. Moving into the show proper, who's our first winner of the week, Joe?
Well, to make matters even worse, it's a Manchester City player. It's Gabriel Jesus. This one was sent in by Maddie_CHH. Obviously, Gabby Jesus back on form, netting a brace in a pretty comprehensive victory over what's been a decent Everton so far this season, 3-1. Now, the 21-year-old, I should say, has been experiencing somewhat of a downturn recently. I think it's partly down to the fact he hasn't been a first-team regular, but those were his first league goals since August, 11 games and 487 minutes ago. So he has been on a downward turn, but another player who's been on something of a downward turn is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He also scored in this game, didn't he? But he's only scored twice since the start of September. He did pull one back, and I kind of thought at 2-1, this game's right on a knife edge. If Everton get one, and they did have chances, Theo Walcott had a brilliant chance that he missed, that they could get back into it. But then the man who's had a career-defining week, really, Raheem Sterling, was brought on, wasn't he? Scored with his first touch. I think he was brought on in like the 66th, scored in the 69th, scored with his first touch to secure City's 10th consecutive home win. In that run of 10 victories, they've scored 36, Pat.
Oh my God.
Conceded 7. They are ridiculous, aren't they, at the moment? That was his 9th goal as well. Already has 6 assists to his name, too. That means he's averaging goal contribution every 76 minutes, Raheem Sterling. 76 minutes. Even more good news as well. Aguero and De Bruyne both back on the bench. Easy for you to say. De Bruyne came on as well, didn't he? 16 minutes left. Tried to thread a few through balls, but didn't quite pay off. It's just good to see Kevin De Bruyne back after that serious knee injury. I think he's only had 236 minutes, something like that, of action this season, which is obviously very low, but he had a couple setbacks as well to the injury. I'm sure Pep's going to be delighted with the timing of his return because it's such a heavy December and January for them.
Yeah, this was a bit of a mixed game, though, I thought, for Man City.
Yeah, not their best.
Everton actually created a bunch of good chances. Richarlison missed a big one. Sigurdsson, Calvert-Lewin managed to find space throughout. XG ended up at 1.8 to City, 1.7 to Everton. But I will say that's a little bit misleading because I think something like 7 of the 9 shots Everton had came after they were 2 goals down.
Yes.
So by that, and then
flooding
after they
forward.
scored, City kind of turned on the afterburners and went and got the third. Like so,
Well, they
capable
missed
of
some
doing
great chances, Everton. There's a couple of fabulous chances that I'm sure Marco Silva would have been fuming weren't hitting the net.
Weirdly, I'd actually say that this was a worse defensive performance by City than their 2-0 away loss at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like in that game, Kante's goal was the first shot Chelsea had in the game.
Yeah,
And
I
generally
would agree.
speaking, they're really good at preventing teams turning fast breaks into shots. In this game, they just could not stop that. And partially that's a credit to the talent Everton have, but I think they have slowed down a bit recently. And you see that in Fernandinho's numbers. His numbers of tackles and interceptions per game have really gone up this season. And you wonder if the press is maybe slowing down a bit, which is just the wrong time for it to happen, given the form
He
of
was
Liverpool.
amazing in this game, though, Fernandinho.
Yeah, he was great.
He was fabulous.
But you don't want to rely on him at 33
No.
to play every game. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see, and interesting to see where Everton end up as well. Despite only playing 483 minutes in the Prem so far, which puts him 15th in the Everton squad for most minutes, Calvert-Lewin always useful. Since the start of last season, nobody in the Toffee squad has been involved, or rather has scored more goals than his 13, which for a very young player is really exciting. Everton have been bad away from home, as much as Silva's fixed things at Goodison. They've only won 1 of their last 9 away games, losing 5, though at least one of those was that quite unlucky 2-0 loss.
That's something that has kind of dogged Marco Silva throughout his career.
It's
he had
true.
the same thing at Watford, I remember, as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can arrest that going into the new year, because he can't afford to lose this many away games.
Yeah, but Everton normally have some joy against Man City. Like as much as their managers and tactics and stuff, maybe there's something about this particular collection of talent that means they can kind of cut through City's defence. No team has scored more goals against City since Pep arrived in England than Everton on 8. And their best performer was probably Luca Digne. Well, other than the guys we've already mentioned. 4 tackles and interceptions, 3 chances created, 2 dribbles and an assist. He's now got a goal and 2 assists to his name so far this season. I think he's actually one of the top creative fullbacks in the Premier League right now.
Yeah, I mean, taking up that mantle well from Leighton Baines, because when he first arrived, I was very unsure. I don't think he was great at Roma, was it, before? And then at
PSG, Barcelona.
and then Barcelona.
Everywhere he wasn't quite good enough.
I think this is the first place, and this is the best time I've ever seen him have at a football club.
Yeah, weirdly, he's found a club that are more his level, but he looks like he's playing above their level, like if that makes sense. Like I think that this is definitely the right fit for Digne, and I'm quite bullish on Everton. I really like their collection of talent, and on the day, it was just a great performance from Gabby Jesus, and Man City managing to have that little bit of extra quality, which allowed them to get the win. But well played to Everton. Unfortunately for you, Gabby Jesus is in our winners.
Our first loser of the day was sent in by Apollo Jaeger, and he says Arsenal. Pato.
Yeah, well, a 22-match unbeaten run came to an end at St Mary's as we faced Ralph Hasenhüttl's Southampton and lost 3-2. We're now in 5th place with 3 points off Chelsea in 4th, but we're 8 points ahead of United in 6th, which is pretty good. Danny Ings got a brace in this game, and to be honest, it was Laurent Koscielny, his first game back from injury since April, had that Achilles tendon rupture, which saw him miss the World Cup, and he's missed 21 games. So while we did equalise twice through Mkhitaryan, and Leno made a mistake for the final goal, allowing Charlie Austin to just nod it in, we conceded 7 shots on target, we only had 4. Now, expected goals had the game very even, 1.3 to 1.2. But this has been our poorest performance since moving to a back 3, and it's kind of no surprise. We were talking about it on the live stream yesterday, and what I said is there are losses which are made on the pitch, there are losses which are made in the tactics room, and there are losses which are made in the transfer window. Yeah. And this feels like one that was made in the transfer window. Yeah. Like Socrates and Mustafi both missed this game with yellow card suspensions. Holding obviously out for 7 months with a knee injury. Mavropanos still not back from injury either, and obviously we have no idea what sort of quality centre-back he'll be yet. So in this game, we were forced to play a back 3 of Xhaka, Koscielny, who's played about 60 minutes versus Karabag, and Lichtsteiner.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, so actually, when I look at it, I look at kind of 1.3 expected goals against, and I think, it's not that bad.
Terrible.
Like, it's not that bad. It could have been a lot worse. But anyway, I don't know. I think that we because Southampton have struggled to find a guy who could start every game up front for them, I think we kind of underrate their complement of attacking players. Okay. Charlie Austin, Danny Ings, Gabbiadini. Gabbiadini is a 3rd choice striker for a club of Southampton's level. He's pretty damn good.
True.
Anyway, first victory for Hasenhüttl as Southampton boss, lifts them out of the relegation zone in his first game in charge, ending a run of 14 games without a victory.
That's shocking.
And he's found a way to endear himself to the Southampton faithful as well by sending a drinks voucher to every season ticket holder before the game. And they were up for it.
Yes.
I hate going to St Mary's. It's always been hard for us. And in this game, whilst I think a draw would probably have been a fair result as well, I don't really grudge them the victory. We certainly weren't good enough to win.
Yeah, I mean, those celebrations from Hasenhüttl, the final whistle, and when the goal went in were pretty epic, weren't they? Very Jurgen Klopp-esque, I have to say. But you mentioned them then, the defensive problems for Arsenal continue, and they didn't get any better on the day either. Hector Bellerin came off, didn't he, with a problem. Looks like he's going to be injured for a few weeks. And then, to make matters worse, Stefan Lichtsteiner came off as well. And I think that replacement hurt Arsenal quite badly, because that was almost the moment you thought, this is where Aaron Ramsey comes in and makes the difference in this game. But instead, they had to bring on, was it Maitland-Niles came on at right back, and that was a bit of a hammer blow for Unai Emery's tactics, I think, especially when you're playing Laurent Koscielny at the back. And like you said, he's only played 60 minutes. I don't even think Unai Emery would have wanted him to play a full 90, ideally, here. He managed just 1 interception all game, and 2 of his 3 tackles resulted in fouls, which indicates to me that he's still a little bit rusty, still a little bit off the pace, but I'm sure that will come with time.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he is, though, a long-term starting centre-back for Arsenal, or he will now just be a rotation
He's
option.
33 now, I think. Yeah, we definitely need to think about replacement.
I think he is just going to be a rotation option. Aubameyang, no, struggling a little bit coming into this one, wasn't he? Not scored in 3 games for the Gunners. That's his longest dry spell, and he had some chances.
Oh my God. And there were a couple of amazing challenges from Southampton centre-backs to deny him tap-ins.
There were, but Vestergaard's so dodgy on the ball, man, isn't he? He is so dodgy.
He's too
huge.
big to be good at football.
6'7" he is. He's a monster.
Why is he outfield?
I know, but he is so dodgy on the ball. Also, Bernd Leno, let's just touch on him because, look, he isn't keeping clean sheets. I don't think he's kept 1 in his last 10 games, something like that.
Against Huddersfield.
But I actually think he's been okay for you at the start of this season.
Yeah.
Looks great with the ball at his feet, but he did have that error for the Charlie Austin goal. I just don't think he should be coming for it.
He's made some error. Yeah, he shouldn't go for it. And afterwards he was saying to Charlie Austin, I missed it by an inch. It's just like, that's kind of your job to know when you're not going to do that.
Inches matter.
And obviously as well, that Dyer one against Spurs, like that's definitely a Leno error. But he has actually been much better than I thought he'd be.
Same.
Overall, I think he's been great. And certainly, his passing out from the back has improved us. I'd rather have him there than Czech, but the odd error is going to cost us.
It is going to cost you. But having said that, I think you've got Tottenham midweek, which is a massive game for Unai Emery. He said he's going to probably spend a fair chunk in January after the game, which I think is a good sign for Arsenal. We obviously identified a few issues. You've seen Unai Emery leaving players on the bench and not being afraid to cut players when he needs to. We've seen Ozil left on the bench for a large period of this season. So I think he's going to spend heavily on the defence, maybe add another midfielder, do you think, in January potentially?
I think it depends, only if we sell Ramsey. Otherwise, I think we'll wait for the summer.
Okay, maybe. But yeah, as I said, big game against Tottenham midweek. But congratulations to Ralph Hasenhüttl as well. First win at Southampton.
Yes. Our next winner, we go over to Spain, and it's Leo Messi.
Yes, the 5th best player in the world strikes again, doesn't he? Obviously, Barcelona absolutely pumping Levante 5-0 away from home, securing revenge for what was their only league loss last season. What's more, he also provided 2 assists on the day, meaning, get this, he's now been involved in 24 goals this season in La Liga alone.
It's pretty good.
Just in the league, 14 goals and 10 assists. Let's not also forget that he's got 6 goals and an assist in the Champions League. So this man has actually assisted or scored 31 times, and we're still in December.
Oh my God.
It's obscene. He was voted the 5th best in the world. The 5th. What? The 5th best. He's been involved in more goals than 13 La Liga teams. He's been involved in the same amount of goals as the entire Atletico Madrid side. What the is going on? His hat-trick goal was his 50th for club and country in 2018. Not too bad on the day. 1 aerial duel one, 2 dribbles, 7 key passes, 7 shots, 2 assists, 3 goals. Let's just say it was a pretty one-sided victory all around. Levante might have outshot Barcelona 20-16 with 6 on target, but XG had the game at 4 to 0.8 in the Blaugrana's favour. 4 unexpected goals. Messi's a joke. I'm sick and tired of the man. He's a freak. He's an alien. Send him home.
Yeah, I actually made the FD Team of the Year for 2018 the other day.
And you didn't include him?
I definitely put him in.
Oh.
And so I feel...
The 5th best player in the world?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
weirdly enough, he did actually make the cut. Anyway, this continues some kind of iffy form for Levante. They've been doing well generally. They're actually in 8th, just 6 points behind Real Madrid in 4th, but they've only won 1 game since the start of November. That's a 6-game run. They've conceded 15 goals in that time. They're massively overperforming versus expected goals. If they'd scored and conceded as many as XG predicts, they'd be 5.6 points worse off. So they can expect a bit of a slide, but they've probably made themselves safe by going on a hot run earlier in the season, though they'd only be 19th if XG was correct. 19.
19.
Above Athletic Bilbao,
And they're
who could be
8th.
relegated for the first
They're
time ever
11
this season.
points above their standard.
Imagine that, though. Anyway, Barca, on the other hand, great month for them. 3 league games against Villarreal, Espanyol and Levante. 11 goals scored, 0 conceded. Boy, were they in need of tightening things up at the back. They now haven't lost in 7 games in all comps, though I'd say that they would view the Tottenham result as a little bit of a loss, possibly.
Yeah.
Notable performers on the day other than Messi, Piqué, with 6 tackles and interceptions.
Wow.
3 aerial duels, 1 dribble, 1 goal.
Old school.
And Ousmane Dembele, who played well on the right-hand side of a 3-5-2, something they're experimenting with. 4 tackles and interceptions, 7 completed dribbles.
Wow, but you know, mate, you know what they say? He's been playing too much Fortnite, so...
Yeah. He's been involved in a goal a game for Barcelona as well. It
but
turns
too much
out
Fortnite.
he's not
Too much Fortnite. Finishing up today with Burnley, who are our final losers. This was sent in by King Derp on Twitter.
Yeah, Spurs moved up to 3rd after beating Burnley.
Yeah.
A last gasp winner from Christian Eriksen at Wembley. That's Spurs' 13th win in total this season. They're actually yet to draw. And weirdly, only one team in Premier League history has gone on a longer streak without a draw from match day 1, and that was Bolton, who I think got to 18.
Bolton Wanderers.
Isn't that staggering? But I imagine they did
RIP.
that mostly by losing. Anyway, this was Poch's 100th win as Spurs boss in his 169th game for the club. He actually reached the milestone 10 games quicker than Arsene Wenger did at Arsenal. Yes, as I said, Eriksen got the winner, and he's now level for Premier League goals with Gareth Bale. Only 5 players have scored more Premier League goals for Spurs.
Yeah, and you know, same age as Jesse Lingard.
Same age as Jesse Lingard, probably not equally talented. 7 goal contributions in 9 Premier League starts this campaign for Eriksen. That's a goal involvement every 126 minutes, only 5 minutes shy of Harry Kane. That is stonkingly impressive. That's so good.
But let's touch on Burnley because they are the losers here, and quite frankly, they offered sweet all, registering only 4 shots in total, none hitting the target yet again. They're now averaging 3 shots fewer than Huddersfield per 90, just 8.4. In fact, the last time they produced a shot on target away from home was against Leicester, and that was almost a month ago. 1 shot on target in their last 270 minutes of football on the road for Burnley. Absolutely stinking. They are serious relegation candidates right now.
Didn't Spurs play like Sissoko and a child in midfield?
Yeah,
and got away with it.
They had Oliver Skipp playing. They had Ben Davis at centre-back, Spurs, on this occasion. And Burnley still didn't muster a shot on target. They never looked like getting anything out of this game. We kind of see them as a massive relegation candidate, as I've just said. I would probably put them rock bottom of the Premier League right now in terms of quality of side.
Yeah,
genuinely. Like, we had Cardiff at the start of the season as being no-hopers. Right now, Burnley are serious no-hopers. Yeah. It's going to take a miracle to keep them up in the Premier League if they continue on this form. They're going to have to spend well in January, because I feel slightly sorry for Sean Dyche. He's probably going to take him down again.
Yeah.
So that's it for this episode of Winners and Losers, but head over to Eurofootball Daily for ERU. Pato, do you have any clue who we're covering?
I actually don't. I didn't write the scripts this week, so I have no idea.
It's going to be a bit of a surprise, but I believe Borussia Dortmund are in there and Bayern are in there.
Thanks, dudes.
Nice one, dudes. Catch you over there.